Good evening, traders, and welcome to MR Strategies. And Happy New Year to all. Hope you guys had a great end of year, and looking forward to what could be some extreme volatility and some excellent trade right out of the gate. So let's get right to the charts and let's take a look at what's happening because today's FOMC apparently did not bode well. And to be honest with you, I just, we've been talking about this for a while as the year unwinded, and I think they squeezed out as much as they could under the circumstances, and as much the Fed kept trying to ease and keep money light, it's inevitably we knew that they're going to be raising rates and there's going to be tightening, and you're going to start seeing the results of that. Obviously, whatever transpired today in the minutes or the meeting, it definitely did not carry well into the trading session. You made a contract high. There's always expectations of a pullback from these levels all the way across the board. So, what you're seeing right now, and this is when you have to start paying attention as a trader to the key moving averages and the daily MAs. And let's take a quick look. And I think you got to take a look at the Nasdaq because there's some pretty heavy damage in the Nasdaq, and they've blown through everything, and they're actually going after the 100. And there's a huge trend line down here at about 15,330. That's a pretty big number. I think that's coming off a contract low from last year. So it's pretty big. And, whether they hold the 100, you can see all these bottoms right in here. You're going to want to see how this plays out early tomorrow morning, and or how this plays out overnight, whether or not they press it and push it even harder overnight, or will they hold it up and ram them up a little bit. Either way, it's a fade from both sides. I mean, if they test the key support, you want to be looking for confirmation going back up. It's pushed hard. It's a huge bracket right there, and you can see the results all the way across the board. I mean, the Dow the ES took a pretty substantial hit, but the ES is still above its 50, and this is the number you're going to want to be paying attention to tomorrow, and that's 4667, 4670. You can see it right here in this chart right here. You can see we haven't tapped it yet. I'd be paying a really close attention to what we do. If you get it early tomorrow morning, it's probably an opportunity with confirmation, but I wouldn't get in front of this. I mean, the problem with the downside is they take chunks out of it really fast. And I mean, they could just slam this thing really hard. So you want to pay attention to it. Obviously, today they rolled and they just basically jumped all over it. Nobody wanted any part of it, and it accelerated to the downside. So now it becomes whether or not they can find support underneath. And this is probably your first big number is 4667 in the ES. If you're trading the Dow, I'd probably be looking at, let's pull these charts up as well. And it's good to pay attention to all of these because they give you a pretty good indication. The Dow did not take as much heat today. It was really the ES, and the Nasdaq has really been the key. And you always want to pay attention to that. Nasdaq usually gives you an indication of what's really going on, and they're getting slammed. So there's a pretty good chance that the Dow and the ES is going to follow suit. So I would pay attention, and I think early in the morning I'd be paying attention to this number 36,334 or 360. Let's call it, or 340. Let's call it 36,340. That is the 9MA, and you can see overnight right now they're hovering at this price. So it looks like they're going to keep pressing the downside, and you can see you got the 18MA coming in down here at 35,940, which is right down in this ballpark right here. I mean, there's a lot of space down here. I mean, this thing could come all the way down to about 35.3 easily. So, I mean, if this thing starts to pick up steam, I'd be paying close attention. But it starts with the moving averages. So, see how this thing plays out tomorrow morning. But the cat's out of the bag. Uh, we know that there's going to be some rate hikes, and the market's going to possibly start pricing this in. You had a giant run up, huge rally over the last year and a half, 2 years, and we might be due to give some of it back, at least early in the first month of the year. There's always a January effect, so pay close attention to it, and look for them to possibly push this thing harder to the downside. But get confirmation and make sure if you're going to take the longs that you're getting that confirmation. They're going to be good trades that could provide decent scalps, but don't get married to the positions, because right now the weakness is to the downside. So you want to respect the support levels, but you don't want to you got to understand that they can breach them and they can continue to dump on this market. So I hope you guys had a great year, and I hope you guys enjoy the videos. As I said at the end of last year, that I am willing to take on some traders. If in fact you guys want to take a shot at trading futures, this is my expertise, and I've been doing this for about 25 years. You've seen my work and a lot of my videos on MR strategies, and feel free to reach out. My email is mlbino@aol.com, and I'd be willing to work with you individually and or as a group. I already have a group of traders as it is. I usually do a morning analysis and a follow through during the afternoon session. And I usually provide this a couple days during the week to help the traders get a read and which way to lean on the market. Right now, this is a corrective trade. You're still in a bull trend, but it's corrective. Whether or not they're going to hold it, you're going to just have to pay really close attention to these next few sessions and see whether or not they're going to jump on this. Pay attention to what the institutions are doing, and you can see right here. And I think early tomorrow, that'll be probably the key. Early. I don't even know what settlement is. They close around right around here, and you got a pretty significant MA sitting right here at about 47.06, and you can see this little institutional selling that came in. But that's Cap Heyman over overnight, so I wouldn't get too caught up with this. 47.07, you can see these highs right in here. We couldn't get through them, and that is your 18 MA, daily MA. So that'll be the big number to pay attention tomorrow and see how hard they press it and whether, where they're going to push it. I do not expect to see it get up to 47.60, but I've seen crazier sessions. I think right now the bias is to the downside. So you want to take advantage and you want to sell weaknesses in the rallies, and you want to take advantage of oversold conditions at the extremes. And those are usually generally, this is the big number all the way down here. This thing's coming in at about 45.60. You can see this is I believe the 100. It's the 100 daily moving average with a trend line. Very significant when they both connect like that. But let's just see, and you could just see all these bottoms. In fact, you're going to see how big this area was, because these were the levels that we could not take out last year, and that provided the next bounce to those higher highs that they made at the end of the year. So that's the big number period is 46. It's probably, I take it back, it's 4,500. We saw those bounces, but you can see it's coming in just a little bit higher here. But let's deal with where we're at right now. Pay attention to this right here. Like I said, this is your 50 MA right here. Whether or not we hold that early, we're just going to have to see what they do overnight, whether or not they continue to press the downside. I don't think people are going to get too aggressive with it. Nobody really wants to get caught, but if it gets, this thing can feed off itself. When you get a big downswing like this, usually everybody's bailing, and you know what? Everybody's jumping out of the pool. So pay attention. There is a significant swing in play right here, guys, and it's the beginning of the year. Take into account possible rate hikes. You know, you got all these issues with these COVID and the Omicron variant. It's probably not going to get much better. In fact, it seems like it's getting worse. I'm not saying this is going to be have an overall effect on the market. It usually does, but the market seems to continuously turn its back on it and go where it wants to go. But you know, at the end of the day, this could be provide a catalyst to push this thing even further to the downside. So pay attention, guys. Trade smart, and feel free to reach out to me. My name is Michael Rabinowitz, and I am at MR Strategies. I'm willing to work with anybody that wants to maybe open up a small account, trade futures. In fact, guys, you got an excellent trade on the first day of the year. They gave you a gap higher and an excellent gap fill. And I've been talking about this in all my videos and how you have to take advantage of it. You get a contract high, open higher, and it's just an opportunity to sell an overbought condition. And you can see they rolled them, and then today they just couldn't get going today, and then FOMC pretty much pushed them over the top. So good luck with your trading this year, guys. Feel free to reach out and have a good night. Take care.